We begin tonight with the President's request to present the 2019 Appropriation Bill to a joint session of the National Assembly on Wednesday, December the 19th, 2018. And this is contained in a letter sent to both chambers of the National Assembly by President Muhammadu Buhari. The Federal Executive Council had approved the budget proposal during its special sitting on Friday last week. The Minister of Budget and Planning, Mr. Udo Udoma, had declined to disclose the details of the budget estimates after the Council meeting, saying that the President would announce the details before the National Assembly. The Council had earlier approved the 2019-2021 Medium-Term Expenditure Framework and Fiscal Strategy Paper, which provides the template for the 2019 budget. A total of 8.73 trillion naira was estimated for the 2019 budget, about 400 billion lower than the 9.1 trillion approved by the federal lawmakers for 2018. Meanwhile, lawmakers in the Federal House of Representatives have threatened to boycott President Buhari's budget presentation next week if the Minister of Budget and National Planning does not tender an apology. The members had reacted to comments allegedly credited to Senator Udo Udoma that the National Assembly was frustrating the presentation of the 2019 appropriation bill.
It's the last plenary session for the week, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives kicks off proceedings with a letter from the President.
May I crave the kind indulgence of the House of Representatives to grant me the slot of 11 hours on Wednesday, 19th December 2018, to formally present the 2019 appropriation bill to the joint session of the National Assembly.
A point of order immediately follows.
Mr. Speaker, yesterday, the Minister of Budget and Planning went on air by saying that they are waiting for this House to give them a date when they will come and present the budget. We did not receive any communication to that effect until today.
Members rise to contribute to the discussion, which soon degenerates into a threat.
I want to join with my colleagues to request, without equivocation, a formal apology from the minister publicly again on television, because some of us will refuse to attend that budget session with Mr. President if he does not.
The Minister of Budget and Planning called me this morning. He said he never said such a thing and that he is writing a rejoinder right now as we spoke.
The Speaker, however, appeals for calm.
I want to plead with honorable members, in view of the fact that even the minister who is at the center of the storm was once a member of this institution, to allow till maybe evening. Let's see whether truly we can have a retraction or a rejoinder. If there is a rejoinder saying that he was misquoted or he never said those things and it's not proven, then honestly speaking, there's no need to take this matter any further.
Relating to the Minister of Budget and
Later in the day, while the Deputy Speaker is presiding, he reads a clarification from the Minister's aide.
Is the procedure when the budget is ready, the executive liaises with the National Assembly for a date which the budget will be laid before the joint session of the Assembly, and that the process is on already. The Minister at no time throughout the interaction with the media blamed the National Assembly for the delay in the presentation, nor gave the impression that there was any issue between the two arms of government over the budget, over the 2018 budget.
With this development, the stage is now set for the President's visit. What is not yet clear, however, is what the reception will be.
A bill seeking to amend the 1999 Constitution and return Nigeria to a parliamentary system of government as practiced in the early part of the country's independence has been introduced in the House of Representatives. According to some of the proponents of the bill, the presidential system's centralization of government obstructs economic development. Our correspondent Larry Lasisi reports.
Those against it say name.
It's one of the bills listed for first reading. A bill sponsored by 71 lawmakers seeking to alter the 1999 Constitution. No other detail gives an idea of the focus of the proposed amendment.
Give me other paper. Where is the other paper?
These lawmakers, who say they are part of the 71 bipartisan lawmakers behind the bill, appear before the press to give more details.
And we feel that parliamentary system that was adopted in 1960, starting from the Clinton Constitution in 1954, is the best economic benefit that can happen to our system. I don't believe that is achievable.
Other members of the group also give some reasons to back their position.
For a plural country like Nigeria, as he rightly pointed out, issues of conflict resolution, issues of too much concentration of power in the hands of the executive arm of government breeds what I can say, absolute power corrupts. Absolutely.
In the parliamentary system, the Attorney General would have been a member of Parliament, which means we would have all worked together with the Prime Minister, the Attorney General, and all, and we would have passed that bill speedily. This is just an example. Then again, to talk about the economics, like my colleague already mentioned, we would have less than half of the MDAs that we have today.
One need not canvass more, but there must be an end to a system that has refused to benefit and be beneficial to the people. And in such circumstances, what do? You change. And the change we are talking of is going out of the presidential system to parliamentary system of government.
The bill still has a long way to go in the National Assembly. This, however, opens the discussion on the matter. Lanre Lasisi, Channels Television News.
Now let's look at this bill in a bit more detail. Joining me live from Abuja is a PDP lawmaker, Kwara State, and one of the sponsors of the bill, Abubakar Kanike. Thank you so much for joining us on the News at 10.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so you're one of those that are calling for this change. Why the push, especially at a time when many are looking at the road to 2019?
Okay, thank you very much. First and foremost, I must say that the preparation to get this bill battered on the floor of the House started over a year ago. You know that the process of bill making and passing or pushing on the floor of the House comes with a lot of back-end job. The technocrats have been working on it, and when we finished, we were able to get a slot to get it done for first reading. We have looked at the problem and challenge in this country, and a lot of people have talked about restructuring. They've talked about impact of government on the people of Nigeria, and this is just ventilating the discourse. We are now daring to look at the structure of government, and we are saying that the parliamentary system of government, that was the original system that is as far back as 1947, during the Richards Constitution, and eventually in 1952, the Macpherson's Constitution and the Littleton's Constitution of 1954, and even the Independence Constitution and the Republican Constitution of 1963. It was designed that this government is a federated system that also has the parliamentary structure. So it was the incursion of the military that actually distorted this progress in our democratic process. And we have tried the system. We have tried the presidential system that we don't have any colonial relationship with for a period of over 24 years. And we have seen that it has not really impacted. So there is a void. So in trying to address this problem of this void, we felt that we should put this bill forward, that we strategically look at the structure of government and look at our current government and look at the option of going back to the parliamentary system of government.
Okay, if I can just cut in so that we can have a two-way conversation. How easy will it be to make this transition? I hear you say that there is a need for it, but it's a very different Nigeria we have today than we had in 1960, even looking at our politics and cultural diversity. So how do you think this will be executed? What's the plan?
Yeah, first and foremost, this is a bill on the floor of the House. It's going to entail the alteration in the Constitution. And in putting this bill together, we have put Section 9 of the Constitution that talks about modes of amendment of the Constitution in place. It has gotten the first reading. Eventually, it's going to have the second reading. It's going to go through the process of bills on the floor of the House and the alteration of the Constitution system. And by the time we are able to push it, and there is a synergy between the Senate and the House of Representatives, and consequently, the state houses of assemblies also concur. If you have that two-thirds support, then it becomes law. And at the point it becomes law, and remember that before it becomes law, there will be opportunities of public hearing, both at the national and the state levels. And by the time we all have everybody's input, and it is fine-tuned and it becomes law, then it behoves on the leadership of the country to institute it and to make sure that it happens. So before we even talk about implementation, we have to go through the process of making it law, which started with the first reading today on the floor of the House.
Okay, and looking at the process, just clear up something. What specific sections of the Constitution do you want to amend to accommodate the new system? What parts are you looking at?
Yeah, it's different parts of the Constitution. The general consideration, like I said, is we're trying to move from a parliamentary, from a presidential system of government that is actually alien to us as a Commonwealth nation. In fact, Nigeria is the only Commonwealth country that is practicing that system. The closer nations are South Africa and Pakistan that are practicing the semi-presidential. We are practicing the full presidential, and we stand out like a sore thumb among the committee of the Commonwealth. So the issue is that we are looking at changing all this and making sure that everywhere where the president is said to be the head of government in the Constitution is going to be changed. And it's going to tinker with different parts of the Constitution, but the consideration is that Section 9 of the Constitution stipulates to what extent you can actually alter the Constitution, and we are guided in the preparation of it.
All right, is it to say, it's alien to us? So do you think the majority of Nigerians, will buy into this change, and what would you need to do to gain traction?
You see, first and foremost, what does the parliamentary system of government, what does it offer? Look, the facts are out there. The parliamentary system of government is the most stable, is the most efficient, is the most accountable, and is the least corrupt in most cases. And it brings up the best leadership amongst parliamentarians. We have a problem in this nation. We have the infrastructural deficit. We have the problems on economic development. The dividends of democracy are not getting to the people. So in searching for a solution, why don't we ventilate the discourse? People have talked about restructuring. I don't think there's any better restructuring than actually looking at our mode of governance. And this also tinkers with the issues of exclusive list and concurrent list of the Constitution as regards the issues of the state. So Nigerians must ask that pertinent question. In our sojourn with the presidential system of government, are we happy as a people? Do we feel the impact of government? Has it worked? If the question is no, which I believe it is, that Nigerians are yearning for better governance and better impact of governance on the people, then we must not be timid. We must be able to take up the challenge and say, let us try something. No matter how far-reaching it might look, we will be guided by the right process and the Constitution. Let us do it differently. Let us do it differently, because the way we have always done it has not delivered the dividends to us.
All right, PDP lawmaker, so Kwara State, Abubakar Kanine, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us on the news at 10 tonight. Thank you.